I'll wait for you guys to get back in here. My Wi-Fi just, my Wi-Fi just went out of nowhere. And I was scrambling. I was like, no sound. Hold on. Okay, good? Good with sound then. All right, cool. Yeah, my Wi-Fi just went out and now I'm scrambling. And I was going to have to pull my hotspot up on my phone. And then it just randomly kicked back on. So I don't know what that was all about. That was definitely weird. I didn't move forward or anything like that, so we didn't miss out on anything. I'm still looking for Mike Lemonier. I'm probably gonna waste way too much time on this. All right, I have a feeling he went to like Oregon. He did, Mike Lemonier. So he's gonna be the starting running back for Oregon potentially. And if you guys remember him at all. All right, so I don't think I have anything else to do with position changes this time, just for cool. Yeah, he went over to Oregon. I don't know if I'm going to schedule him again this year. All right, so we'll advance. Hopefully we get some crazy breakouts like we saw last year with Devontae Haslam, because that development was ridiculous. We do get some coach points. Now, my question is, should I save those coach points or should I spend them? That's what I'm curious on. Should I save them? Which I think is probably the best move for now. Training results. Jeremiah Tobias gets no better. John Burton, just save him for next offseason? Okay, I agree. So Tobias gets no better. At least overall wise. His deep accuracy has gone up to 85, 89 awareness. Throwing under pressure at 88. Throwing the run at 97 is pretty good. True, you're not wrong. Let's see, Tobias, how much longer does he have? 6 weeks. So yeah, he's gonna probably be hurt to start the season. We gotta go back to the training results here. So if they're injured, do they not get their off-season development? Because you just brought that up, and that actually makes me curious. Like, if they're hurt, does that impact their ability to get development? Deshaun Layman to an 82. Gosh, Xavier Blunt had a really good season as a true freshman and barely gets any development. So the running back room looks kind of weak right now. I think receiving backs are definitely the type of guys that get the best development. Like, receiving backs, for some reason, skyrocket. Power backs, their overall is usually low, but I feel like they always play so much better than their overall shows. But I'm pretty disappointed in Xavier Blunt, who I wanted to be running back number 1, and he's all the way at the bottom. The architect tree. Okay. So motivator or architect, I'll have to look at both of them and see which one fits what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I've struggled to get real good offseason development. Sexton 82, Zach Qualls an 80. I mean, I'm not really seeing much of anything here. At tight end, Everett Eagles is up to a 75. Pierre Lambeau still on the team. Angel LeMay an 85. Bernie Davis. John Yolito is an 87. True overall is an 86. So that may mean that he's not going to start at left guard to begin the season. Alex Tuttle an 89, but J.D. Skillen's right behind him. By the time next season rolls around, there's a chance J.D. Skillen could be our starter. Steve Giraldo to a 90 overall. Ben Kendricks, a senior now. And then Tevin Apple an 88. Demarius Ahmad 83. I know Demarius Ahmad has like elite development, but it's hard to put him out there in place of Tevin Apple, who's been pretty solid for us. Juan Lima up to an 88 overall. Greg Tecklenburg. So he gets good development. That's what I kind of figure would happen. He's one of my favorite pass rushers we have. And then Dylan Garrison allowed Sateki Luvu to beat him out. So Garrison probably going to be the backup to Sateki Luvu heading into this upcoming season, if I'm being honest. Defensive tackle, Bobby KZ, 87. Imani Awesome, 86. Matt Bowie, Steven Lancaster. Jamison Awesome's a 77 overall. At some point, we have to get him out there with his brother. Damian Lampman's a 76. Not seeing the development that I'd want to see here. Sean Meeks is an 84, though. That's pretty solid. That is pretty solid. Alex Cheeseman, yeah. Mike Perkins is probably going to start in the slot, but are we really about to have 3 slot archetype corners starting? Gregory Culver's been like a huge disappointment for me. Same with Miles Iwachukwu. Man-to-man corners just do not develop. And then Matt Gage. We need corners as well heading into this upcoming season. Sosa, Brian Horner actually got some development, so that's not bad. Cordell Lawson up to an 87, or he might have already, no, I think he just went up to an 87. I think this offseason development was actually not that good. Curious about the speed of these guys. I wish Mike Perkins was a little bit faster. Yeah, I wish he was a little bit faster. But, yeah, this roster does not look all that great. It's not all that fast either. I have no idea how we're 90 overall. It may have something to do with the recruiting class that we brought in, because the recruiting class was good. So now you're thinking we should stay in the Pac-12, and I don't disagree with you. So, like, at this point, it doesn't matter if we even go into the motivator because we have to wait a whole new offseason. Okay, so maybe you stay in the Pac-12. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That was not how I expected that training result session to go right there. All right, well, we'll advance to the next week here. I think this week right here is probably where we do have the opportunity to move conferences. Encourage transfers. How many guys we're going to have to kick off the team? Quite a few. I think Stanley Thorne is probably an obvious cut guy, or encourage him to transfer. He's never really going to have a chance to start. Could be a cool story, but we'll go ahead and encourage him to leave. At receiver, I really don't want to encourage any of these guys. Maybe Alex Linkenbach. Or Bernie Davis. How about Bernie Davis? Let's go ahead and get Bernie Davis out of here. Kind of the same thing with Dexter Wall. Like, I know pass protectors don't develop all that well, but his strength is actually in a decent spot at 86. So I'll hold off on that one. Byron Frost, we'll go ahead and encourage him to transfer. Sam Sue or Anthony Shockey, or both of them. Probably Sam Sue. We'll go with him first. Imani Adai. Is there potential that he... Danny Sierra's pretty slow. We'll go ahead and encourage him. At corner, like Iwachukwu's not going to play, but our cornerback depth is so weak at the moment that it's like I can't cut him. Not right now. Cedric Prince actually got faster. Remember, he was lower than 88 speed. All right, what are you guys thinking? Who we cut? We need to cut 4 guys. Morgan Burns and J.J. Gessner. Remember, those are star development guys. Edward Lewis. He's not really good. Neither is Theo Anthrop. I'm going to go back to defensive tackle real quick. Anthony Shockey, go ahead and cut him. Maybe Imani Adai. I think that's probably a good call. Seeing as how Cheeseman and Stamer are both up here, I think Stamer's probably the guy that we have transfer. And then free safety, Tommy Falk, potentially. He's slow. Antoine Darby would start over him. We'll go Falk. And that should be it. No more cuts. Could have gotten rid of John Burden. But I like his speed. And we can always change his position later. So we're going to hold on to these coach points for now. Custom conferences. Now, when it comes to conference changes, is it important that each conference has an even amount? Is that something this game is coded weird and it's like if the conference doesn't have an even amount of teams, it kind of bugs out? Or is that necessary? Is that unnecessary? Because you got a lot of teams here, a lot of conferences that have an uneven amount. Big 12. Played 4 games. I don't know why. How many games did they play in real life in the Big 12? All right. All right, so yeah, this would need evened out then. Mountain West was screwed up. Yeah, I don't know why they were screwed up. We'll go 8 conference games there. All right, so are we staying in the Pac-12 or are we moving to the Big 12? My only thing is if we move out of the Pac-12, I want to put Arizona and Arizona State back in the Big 12, and I want to take Stanford and Cal and put them back in the ACC. That's my only thing is if we leave, those 4 teams are leaving as well, and then the Pac-12 will be rebranded and we'll add teams like UTEP and stuff like that. But I don't want to leave Stanford and Cal, mainly Stanford and Cal. I don't want to leave them hanging in the Pac-12 when they've shown that they're good enough to not be stuck here. We could stay. Like, the only thing is, like, the game will never recognize the Pac-12 as like a power conference. So they'll never get an automatic bid to the playoff if you win your conference championship game. But if you have better teams on the schedule, I think that changes. That certainly would change things. But, like, I agree. Like, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Colorado State should not be in the Pac-12. They're not good. You know, Oregon State, I think, stays because they were an original member. You think the same thing, Loco? You think that's what we should do? I mean, I think that would definitely work. My thing is, with that, we need to find some teams to add that have decent prestige. Like UTSA, that's not going to happen. Notre Dame to the Pac-12? Memphis and Notre Dame. All right, let me write it down. Who's Dandruff State? San Diego, okay. All right, so Fresno State with Air Force. Okay, and then you want me to switch Air Force with Notre Dame, and then Air Force becomes an independent. Okay. So it's about time somebody forces Notre Dame to join a conference then. And in today's day and age, you got, like, for example, you got teams all the way on the West Coast playing teams all the way on the East Coast. So I'm not worried about, like, the geography of it. That's not something that's going to... See, I like the idea of bringing Utah back to the Big 12. I mean, to the Pac-12, I'm sorry. The thing that I hate about it is BYU's got to come along with them. But the thing is, BYU always wanted to join the Pac-12, from my understanding, and the Pac-12 never allowed them. So it's like, finally, we're letting them join. But I do think that would make the conference enjoyable. So let's go Colorado State, and we'll swap Colorado State with Utah. Now I'm going to make the Big 12 weak. All right. And then how about San Diego State? We swap with BYU. I don't hate that. I really don't hate that. And then you think Oregon State switch with Memphis. They're in the American, I think, right? Yeah. So my one thing with taking Oregon State out of the Pac-12 that I dislike is that they were an original member. Washington State, obviously, they've earned their spot in the Pac-12 with the rivalry that they have with us. But Oregon State, I feel like they're an original member, and taking them out. So Oregon State, we could send Oregon State to the Big 12. They have an even amount of teams, though, and I really don't know who else I would take out of the Big 12. That's true. That is true. You got a good point. All right, let me write this down. The American has an uneven. ACC is also uneven. Because I want to make sure these are even, the conferences here. I know there's going to be a way to make it even. It's probably going to have to involve Texas State, potentially. I'm going to keep Rutgers in the Big Ten. I'll keep them there. They actually had a good year. 9-4. Same thing with Maryland. They had a really good year in the Big Ten. I'm not going to move them out of it. I think the Big Ten I'm going to keep relatively untouched. Like Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, like they're Big Ten teams to me now. They're in a solidified conference. It's kind of the same deal with like I wouldn't take Texas and Oklahoma out of the SEC. Now Arizona State, and then Stanford, Cal. I don't have a problem taking them out of the ACC and the Big 12 because they're kind of like second tier compared to the SEC and the Big 12. All right, so I need a team in the American and a team in the ACC here. So what team? Which Rutgers and Maryland both to the ACC. I don't know. I just need a team to go to the American and a team to go to the ACC. One of these teams I could send to the Big 12. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why SMU went to the ACC and not the Big 12. It makes more sense to me that they go to the Big 12. They're kind of trash. UConn is kind of trash. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I know it's probably boring. I want to go. Here's what I'm gonna do. App State is gonna go to the ACC. They're a ranked team. I think we'll give it. They'll have their shot, and then I'm gonna send. Who do I want to send over to the American? Probably Texas State. That's what I'm gonna do. And then now the conferences are all even. The Big 12 is kind of weak now. We could swap to Oregon State. Yeah, okay. And then Memphis. So you want Memphis. Let's see. Oregon State. Does Oregon State go to the American? And we bring in Memphis instead. All I know is these teams in the American Conference, like, let's see. Temple is going to hate going to Oregon to play Oregon State. But it is what it is. I mean, Northern Illinois plays in the Mountain West now. Like, tell me how that does not make sense. All right. We'll do that. I think I'll do that. I'm happy with that. It spices the series up in the most bizarre way. Because now the conferences are all crazy. That's true. That is definitely true. Conference USA, they'll be playing 7 games. Independence, Air Force, and UConn. Mountain West is playing 8 games. Should we play 8 or 9 games in our conference? Put everyone at 9? Well, I want to keep the major conferences at 8, like that. They're usually 8, like SEC and stuff like that. Because Big Ten are the only ones that do 9. So teams that were staying in the conference: Arizona, Arizona State, Boise State, Stanford, Cal, Tulane, Utah State, and Washington State. The new teams in the conference is Utah, Memphis, Notre Dame, and BYU. Top divisions by conference record. Top teams by conference record. So it should say top teams by conference record then for all of these. So which one is this? The MAC needs to be top teams by conference record. All right, let's see. All right, that's what I'm going to go with right there. I'm sticking with that. It is fun because in today's day and age of college football, conference realignment is just crazy. So I don't have a problem doing conference realignment the way we just did it. Because like I said, it's crazy now. College football is just ridiculous with the realignment. And so nothing is, impossible. Like San Diego State going to the Big 12. I think Big 12 kind of gets crapped on a little bit. Their conference is pretty weak now. The Big 12 is pretty weak. I think the ACC is just as strong. They have the defending national champs. Maybe UTSA. Charlotte's pretty good as well. I don't know. I mean, they have Baylor, Kansas State, Houston. UCF had a good year apparently. So I don't know what happens if I take every team out of the independents. Does that make it weird? See, and that's the one reason that I'm not going to do it is because if I disband the independents, is that going to screw with the game? So I can take all these teams out of the independents and there'd be no more independents, and that's not going to screw with conference scheduling. All right, so I'm going to put Air Force into the Mountain West. I'm going to put UConn into the American. Now, I want to take... Hang with me here. Nevada's an 85 overall. I want to take UTEP and move them to the Big 12 to give the Big 12 more teams. Which team from the American goes to the Big 12? You got Charlotte, Oregon State, maybe, probably not. UAB or UTSA. One of these teams got to go to the Big 12. Charlotte, UAB, or UTSA. I'm going to say no to UTSA because they're only a 1.5 star. UAB and Charlotte. I'm going to go Charlotte. ECU. I'll keep them there. All right. Last time I'm checking this, I'm just going to make sure all the freaking conference rules are right. I don't want something to get screwed up. I just wanted to make sure that, like, the Big 12, since they're losing some good competition, I just want to make sure we give them something. So we'll give them UTEP and Charlotte. No independent schools now, so we'll just say, like, the NCAA said, hey, there's no such thing as the Independence Conference. Find a conference to play in. And so Notre Dame said, screw it. We got to play in the Pac-12. In real life, I think they'd probably go to the Big Ten or ACC. But in this scenario, welcome to the Pac-12. San Diego State is in the Big 12 right now. I'm gonna keep it like this. I'm gonna keep it like this right here. And we'll just say screw it. What really matters the most is, oh, you're talking about, okay, I see what you're saying. Move San Diego State out of the Big 12 and put UTSA. Or UAB or... Okay, that makes a lot more sense. All right, that's what we'll do. San Diego State is going to go out of the American, and we'll give the Big 12 UTSA. Or should we give them... This is so stupid. Or should we give them UAB? UAB or UTSA? Screw it. We'll keep it the way it is right now then. We'll give them UTSA. But we're set. Arizona State, BYU, Boise State, Cal, Memphis, Notre Dame, Stanford, Tulane, Utah, us, and then Washington State in the Pac-12. Let's rock with it. The American, I don't really care too much about the American and how it looks. The ACC's pretty much the same other than App State. Big 10 was untouched. The Big 12 goes through the most changes, but they still have their faces of the conference like Colorado, TCU, Oklahoma State. There's some new faces in UTEP and UTSA and Colorado State and Charlotte. And then Conference USA, not really too concerned about how that looks. Us, and then the SEC was untouched. Sun Belt, not really concerned about it. UAB since they're ranked? Okay. Let's do that. This is the last change that I'm making. UTSA, you're getting swapped out with UAB. A lot of green teams in the Big 12 now. I know this right here is the annoying part, that I have to keep checking this, because if one of these conferences gets screwed over and only plays 4 games, it's going to just throw a wrench into all of our plans as far as if we're going to be able to make the playoff or not. All right, cool. We're good to go. It is, and I'm already somebody that like double, triple, and quadruple checks things that I do. Like, yeah, it drives me nuts sometimes. All right, we've encouraged transfers. Conferences are set. Let's go ahead and advance to, should be like the preseason part now. All right. Custom schedules. They want us to play Oregon. If we play Oregon, I'm playing them at home. We got Tulane on the schedule. We got Cal on the schedule. Utah. Holy crap. The schedule's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. Our only bye week would be right here as well. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Drop some teams that you want to see if we can schedule, and I'll take a look at it. Just give me 1 second. All right. All right, so Eastern Michigan, let's go ahead and open that up. I do agree. We'll go down here. We'll see what's available. I think if anything, I would prefer to have an easier game right here, because it's late in the season. We're coming off of a game against Utah. I would probably prefer. Jeez, 3 straight road games here. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 home conference games. I do agree. I don't think I want to play Oregon this season. And then as far as who we play late in the year, here's your options. For me, I'm going either Air Force or Wyoming. At this point in the season right here, Air Force or Wyoming is who I'm taking on here. We didn't really play Air Force. I think we played them one time in the when we ran the Mountain West. I'm gonna put Air Force there. If you guys want to change it, we can change it. I'm not opposed to it. Who do we want to open the season against, though? There's a new ACC team in App State. Baylor's ranked 26th. How does that make any sense? This game, I tell you. Here's a new Big 12 team in Charlotte. The defending national champs. And then there's Toledo. Is their Heisman winning quarterback back? Or did he go to the NFL? Maryland. That would be an interesting game. We can put Maryland there for a second and then see if anything changes. UTEP's got a really nice stadium that I think would be fun to go play on the road against. But so many ranked teams is just ridiculous. I'm going to save this. I'm going to see if Toledo's quarterback came back. No, okay, so he either got drafted or graduated, so I'm not going to put Toledo on the schedule. Okay, that... Don't know why it did that. Yeah, it's like we're making a point. Like we lose one game last year, go 13-1, and they snub us of the playoff. Well, heck, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranked teams on our schedule, along with teams like Notre Dame and Washington State, who always give us problems, BYU, who could be good, you never know. Like it does prove a point. It makes a point that we're one of the best teams. Which one would be like the FCS Utah, like the Sharks? Or no, they're Oregon. I'm going to keep Air Force just because if we play an FCS school, it would be like a little tune-up game, but I imagine Air Force, the Royals, like Bengals team, Riverside Royals. I feel like Air Force is also kind of a tune-up game, but it's also a little bit of a challenge because it's a unique offense to stop. So you want to go the Riverside Royals or you want to do Air Force? Air Force? All right, cool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home games. So it's about what I wanted. 6-6 is perfectly fine. We open up at home against Maryland, and we go on the road to the Sun Bowl to take on UTEP, who's a member of, I don't know what conference at this point, Big 12, I do believe. And then we have Tulane on the road, Cal at home. Then we have 3 straight road games against BYU, Arizona State, and Boise State. Then we're at home for the game against Utah, and which should be an excellent rivalry matchup. Home against Air Force to kind of tune us up for the late part of our schedule. Home against the Irish, home against Memphis, and then home against our biggest rivals of the series for the season finale. I like it. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and look at recruiting here. I think with the 2 streams combined, we're about almost 2 hours in of streaming. Yeah, 2 hours exactly now. So I could probably go for another 30 minutes to an hour. But we're getting a lot of attention now. A lot of guys are interested in coming here. And pretty much everybody is able to come here now. There's a couple positions that I think are important needs to start. And that's corner and defensive tackle. So I want to look at defensive tackles like right away. And I want to go for the best of the best, really. And then ones that are interested in us, you have 2 of them that are pretty interested here. Body here, via Viliami Body, is probably one of those guys that like is more so the size that I'm looking for, to be honest with you. So we'll see. And then there are some corners that are interested here. George Aralo. I don't know if I said that right. Feels like I didn't say it right. Is interested. Brian Caps, and then I'm not going after 2 stars. It's just not, I'm not doing that. But I'm not going to ignore these guys as well, because you can always get these guys. I mean, I just want to scout them at least. Viliami. I can't say this guy's name, and I'm not even going to try. The #1 high school recruit, free safety. I think we'll show that we can play with the best when we beat 5 ranked teams and then dominate the rest of our schedule. This is going to be the biggest season yet. I mean, season 6. Here's the thing. I want to do an MLB The Show franchise. So I'm going to maybe start one. So pretty much what this season 6 could go a little longer. I'm hoping I don't slow the pace too much. But season 6 could be one of the last seasons of the series, unfortunately. I'd like to get maybe 7, even potentially 8 seasons in. But I'm going for a national championship this year. Like, I want to win a national championship. A lot of Texas guys here. Multiple Texas guys in a row. Do we go after the #1 ranked player? I mean, I can't say his name. Viliami Ilawa. What dynasty is next? Okay, so for College Football 26, I'm going to change how I do the dynasty, but I do have a couple of things in mind. So the Delaware Blue Hens are a team that's going to be coming to the FBS next year, so they should be in the game. That's my first option. My second option would possibly be a team builder if team builder kind of gets better. And then my third option would be, I really don't have a third option. As far as dynasties on College Football 25, as long as this game is out, Utah State Dynasty will be the dynasty that I do. So I don't know if I'll do it all the way up until College Football 26 comes out, but this is going to be the only dynasty I do on this game. And I hope that it goes on for as long as people watch it. All right, so do we want to add? Okay, so let's look at team needs real quick. See, how many seniors do we have? 21. So we got 21 players that will be leaving. I don't think we need a quarterback this year. And the reason that I don't is we have 3 guys that are freshmen. I think it would be beneficial to possibly look. Let me flip page here. That way I can now go through. We could look at quarterbacks potentially, but I don't think it's a huge need. I think we need probably 1 running back. Oop. I think we're good on receivers, with Sexton being our only guy. Tight end for sure. I think we'll look at tackle. I'm not going to bring in a center. Keep going until July. I'm not opposed to that. I really am not. I'm not opposed to it. I don't think we need a defensive end there, but I think we could bring in like a right end. We need defensive tackles. That's already been addressed. Linebackers. We'll go with like one linebacker. If we can bring one in. Corners, we already know about all that. Safeties don't really need anything there. We'll look at strong safeties. And then don't need a punter yet. All right. Let's look at quarterbacks now. So there's Cedric Ruffin and Larry Wooten. Two quarterbacks that are kind of interested. I'll add them both. I don't really want to spend the points to go after a top guy. Enrique Ball, Quinn Weatherly, and Austin Woodside are three running backs that are interested. Look at Joe Kite. 6'3", 230 is ridiculous. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I think that would be fun. I'm going to add Joe Kite just for the heck of it because the dude's huge. He's a mammoth. And there are some receivers that are interested. Shaq Ruggins is the first one. He don't look like Shaq. Brian Ian Badejo and Brian Lane. So two Brians out there. And they're route runners. We're going to need a slot once Devontae Haslam graduates. I'll add them both to the board. Only one tight end interested right here. Mike Horn, a vertical threat. Keelan Coppin. I just feel like going after tight ends is just like, I don't know. Like Mike Horn's too small for the offense that I want to run. I think Keelan Coppin, we'll go ahead and add him. See, there's a couple of tackles here. Got two of them that are interested. Jaquez Granger is somebody I'm definitely going to add. I'm not going to add Jaquan Azur because he's got the pass protector archetype. And with offensive linemen, really, yeah, like these guys right here, all of them could develop to be really good. Guard. We'll add that. Martin Lamb. Or Lamb. What about Floyd Brown? I think he looks pretty interesting. I'm interested to see what his speed is. We'll go look at Martin Lamb too. I said we might need like one linebacker. Chester Westbrook. Add him to the board. Corners we've already added. Let's look at strong safety. I never have guys interested in me here, ever. Actually, let me see. I might have screwed that up. Here we go. One thing I always like doing is I like to go through here and like see who the best player is from certain states. Like what, this is Alaska right here, right? Elmendorf. So these guys are military kids. Elmendorf Air Force Base, Alaska. Military kids. That's actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, David Everett we can go after. That would be fun. That would be fun. Let me write his name down. All right, let's go look at Idaho. That's where Daniel Jones, our running back, is from. Jaron Conklin. Okay, I gotta put some respect on his name here. I gotta add him to the board. Montana. Nobody. No Montana guys. Ohio, where I'm from. The number one Utah guy is... See, like, this guy's got to be added to the list. Shaq Ruggins as well from Utah. I think, like... Yeah, like these guys got to be added. They'll be added, but I just got to do some scouting first. Try not to spend too much time on this, even though that's probably what's going to happen. And then Wyoming. I like looking at these Mountain West locations. Pacific Northwest. So I want to first scout the guys that have some interest in us. So here's the first guy I want to scout. I know I can like... All right, Clifton Morton. If you're already complaining about playing time, we're going to have issues here. Larry Wooten, the quarterback. Even though I'm not really in a hurry to scout quarterback. Cedric Ruffin is another quarterback. Brian Lane, a route runner. Yeah, this is the part of the video where, I mean, of the live stream where, like, it could get a little boring potentially because it's just going to be a lot of sorting and scouting and just could be a little slow. Jaquez Granger. I actually think that, like, he'd be a really fun guy to bring in at tackle. Trent Poe is also there. Yeah, and I tend to, you know, my thing is, like, when I record these off camera, you know, off live stream, and I'm recording the off season part, I tend to, like, get overwhelmed by this, by the scouting, because there's so many players, and, you know, I have so many ideas of the type of team that I want to create that I'm like, it will stress me out, and then I end up finding that, like, I start scouting way too many of the too many guys of the positions that I don't need, which, don't need to do that, which, like, I don't need to scout running backs right now. Like, there are some running backs that I could look at down the board, for example, the 1 5-star, but I don't need to really scout him right now. I need to scout positions of need, which would be like defensive tackle and corner. So here's 17 guys that are already showing interest in us. Defensive tackle and corner are the priorities, though. Christian Geisinger is the first guy that we're going to scout. 88 strength, I guess that I can live with that. I know that like 90 strength is like elite for a high school recruit. I get that. So I don't want to be too hard on myself in this situation. Viliami Body. He's a speed rusher, and I've actually heard that these guys are actually not that good. I don't want to be deterred from busts, but at the same time, like, I've heard that these speed rushing defensive tackles aren't that good because their block shedding is always really low. I'm going to take him off the board. Let me go look at, see if there's more D tackles here. Like Scott Flavors. What a name. It's an A+ name, so. As a matter of fact, you know what I can do? I can just go to defensive tackle and do that. 92 strength. That's what I'm talking about. And he's a gem. He's going to be the first scholarship that we give out. '91 strength. All right. Alex Durbin. 90 strength. I don't want to scout too many of these guys, but geez. Like, that's what I'm talking about when, like, before I scout this guy, I'm removing him. He's a speed rusher. That's not what I'm looking for necessarily. All right. We're getting the strength part here. And I screwed up. Marco Span, I shouldn't have scouted you. So there's a lot of defensive tackles to choose from. I think Scott Flavors is your number one guy, though. Now, corner. I'm taking this guy, Clifton Morton, off the board already. Brian Capps is a man-to-man guy. 79 man. I need speed. I want speed at the corner position. 95 is pretty good. George, is it Arroyo or Arroyo? Would it be Arroyo because the double L? I don't know. 89 speeds, not fast enough. Kerry Smith. 91 speed. He's a gem. Slot archetype. We'll offer a scholarship there. Jalen Crosby. 92 speed. Okay. Eric Hunter looks like he's going to be really good. We'll offer a scholarship there. I run a lot more zone than I do man. And that's why I like Brian Capps, for example. Like, I like his 79 man. We don't see what his zone coverage is, though. Monty Tony. He's quick. All right. And then Zach Polk. Okay. I've seen enough. 99 speed. Yeah. Okay. So we got three guys that I do like right here. Eric Hunter, Kerry Smith, and Zach Polk are the guys that I like the most at the moment. Sorry, there's a dog outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. All right, so, okay. Let's go look at this quarterback. These two quarterbacks here. Larry Wooten's the first guy. Throw power is pretty solid. The accuracies are pretty solid as well. Him not being a gem is a little concerning, though. 89 speed for Cedric Ruffin. All right. I'm not going to offer scholarships yet. And then this one running back, Joe. Okay, let me not do this yet. Let me start backwards. Because I always start with the quarterbacks, and then that's how I screw myself up. Lorenzo Grubb. 90 speed, 79 zone, 70 tackle. I'll offer a scholarship. And then Dominique Sapp, hybrid. I've heard these hybrid guys don't really develop all that well. In some of the YouTube videos that I've watched. So I'm actually just going to go Lorenzo Grubb here. I'm not going to offer to Dominique Sapp, even though I kind of like what I'm seeing. Chester Westbrook is the 10th ranked player in the country. There's his zone coverage, 90 speed, 70 man. We'll offer a scholarship. And with that, I'm actually going to go back here because I want to take a look at Jaron Conklin as well. All right, let's look at Jaron Conklin. 87 speed. He's a field general. I mean, these are the best guys. Oh my gosh. Unfortunate. So it looks like Chester Westbrook's the guy we're going to be trying to go after here. Let me go down to this athlete real quick. Dalvin Kugbila. He's supposed to be an offensive lineman. 78 speed. I'll offer him. Now, I'm pretty sure there's always a chance that these guys can be defensive guys as well, but the abilities are meant for him to be an offensive guy. And here's some defensive ends. 83 strength for Martin Lamb. At the end of the day, it would really just depend, can this guy develop as a pass rusher? But he's a gem, so I'm going to offer. And then Floyd Brown. Speed is going to be important in this one. 81 speed is good for a power rusher. So we'll offer a scholarship for sure. Guards. We got a couple of guards here. Eric Bars is the first one. An agile guy. 94 strength. Holy crap. Holy crap. Offering him. Ben Feely. 90 strength's not bad either. I'm going to hold off on offering him, though. Jaquez Granger. I'm going to offer him. Trent Poe. He's a bust. All right. Dominic Grubb. 87 strength. Okay. And then Steven Childers. He's a JUCO guy. I'm going to hold off. Keelan Coppin. 84 catching. 85 speed. Brian Lane at wide receiver here. So my plan was I wanted to do like practice as well. That way you guys can get a look at some guys. So what I might do is once we finish this up, I'll go do some practice for like 10 minutes. And then we'll wrap it up. Brian Lane, short route, 78, 91 speed. He's a bust. That sucks. How about Brian Iambadejo? 93 speed, 75 short, 78 catching. Isn't great. I'm not in like a hurry to get a receiver this year either. So this is just more so what do these guys present to us? Shaq Ruggins, I'm also not really like blown away by what I see here. Joe Kite, 90 speed. I'm going to offer him. We'll see what happens with that. So guys that I offered are now going to get moved up. We've offered 12 scholarships. All right. I think, and I also think that I need to be a little bit, I'm going to move Kugbila all the way up. I think I also need to be a little bit more aggressive going after tight ends here. Like Mike Horn's too small. What about George Katu? I know he's a blocking guy, but you never know. Theo McManus, or how about this? Are there any big wide receivers? Like Steve Vallis. Joey Tant. I mean, these guys are kind of small. I mean, Steve Vallis could be a tight end. I don't know. Maybe the athletes are the best to go after. Maurice Gaines. Because we need tight ends. If I haven't said that already. That Joey Tant. I guess we'll add Theo McManus. Chance Span. I'm going to go Carl Loudermilk. I'm looking for gems. That's not good. There were two guys here that I want to finish scouting. Don McLeon. And then Joe Sanders. I don't know. So we offered 3 more defensive tackles. We've offered to 3 corners, I do believe. I didn't really like the other stuff that I saw. Dominique Sapp. So Steven Childers. Oop, nope, don't want to do that. We didn't scout him. He's the only guy we haven't really scouted. Theo McManus. No gems. How about Carl Loudermilk? There we go. I'll take that. Steven Childers, we'll go ahead and scout him. That way we finish up our scouting. And we can't. Never mind. All right. 16 guys that we've offered scholarships to. Corner is important, so I want to bring all these corners up here. I think Zach Polk is my favorite. And then I want defensive tackles up here. And then here's where you get the best kind of guys here. Westbrook, I want to bring him up. Renzo Grubb. Is there anybody else we want to offer a scholarship to? .95 speed's impressive. I'm not going to offer one of these quarterbacks. I guess I'm really just looking for things that might jump off the board to me here. Jalen Crosby. I'm going to offer Dominique Sapp. And the reason I'm going to offer him is because we're going to need strong safeties. And there's a chance you could recruit this guy to push him down inside to be a slot corner. There's always a possibility. With a 75 man and 75 zone, his press is obviously not on here, but there's always a chance that you could have that happen. So we've offered 17 scholarships. All right. Custom schedule's already set up. I'm going to advance next week. Loco and Pepperjack, and if there's anybody else in here, I got to go to the bathroom again. This coffee's finally catching up to me. So I'll be right back, and then I'll show some practice, and then we'll finish off this episode, this live. All right. All right, so there's one thing that okay, I forgot to look at like preseason All-Americans and stuff like that. Let's get the Heisman watch real quick. Do we have anybody on the Heisman watch? No, but we will see Sean Amato in week 1. And he's up there. So we're going to see a Heisman contender here. I'm wondering. Jeremiah Tobias. He is injured to begin the season. So, does that mean John Burden starts? Let's look at the roster real quick. What does that mean for us? Does that mean John Burden, the senior, the most experienced guy, does he start? Or does that mean Stephen Beebe, Miguel Tinker, or Anthony Tobin starts? And if one of these guys starts and they do well, does that mean that Jeremiah Tobias's era is over in Logan, Utah? Let's look at recruiting here. See how everything's happened. Zach Polk instantly getting 55 put on him. I do worry because I haven't done anything to recruiting to give us enough hours if we're going to hurt ourselves because we don't have enough hours to put on guys. We now have 700 hours to work with now that I think we're a 3.5-star team. Eric Hunter. And then we'll go. I think this is the order that I want these guys in. I want to make sure about these guys real quick. If I have this in the right order. Scott Flavors. I do want him up here first. Yeah, I want it just like that. I'll edit. I'm going to edit like players and stuff like that, like our new guys, off camera. But I do want to edit them, get their own gear and stuff like that. So we're only in the top 8 on Kerry Smith. That's the only guy we're in the top 8 on here. Dalvin Kubila, number 1. I'm going to put 50 on him for now. Cedric Westbrook, same thing for him. Eric Bars we're in first place for. Martin Lamb. Might have to honestly put less on these guys, really. Like maybe 35. We'll do 35 on each of them. We'll start with 25. All right. All right, so there's 17 scholarships that we've offered. Here's what we got. Zach Polk, Kerry Smith, Eric Hunter at corner. And then Flavors, Vakapuna, McLean, and Sanders Kugbila, Westbrook, Bars, Brown, Grubb, Sapp, Loudermilk, Granger, Lamb, and Knight. The rest of these guys, we could look at them if we want in the future, but for now, I've used up the hours. So we'll go ahead and exit recruiting. That's completely done. I'm not going to advance to the next week yet. I'm not going to do that. How good is the conference now? How many ranked teams we have? We got Utah, Cal, and Tulane all ranked. Guys, I think you guys did a good job. Loco and Pepperjack, I think you guys did a good job at realigning my Dynasty's conference. Because this Pac-12 looks pretty good, and it makes me excited for Season 6. So thank you guys for helping me out with that. Let's hop into some practice real quick for like 10 minutes. One thing that sucks is like I don't like how you can't edit your uniform before you go into practice. So a couple things I want to do here in the depth chart. I want to see Tobin first because Tobias won't play week 1. And then I want to get a look at the true freshman Daniel Jones. Like the numbers, like everything will change as far as like editing these guys. Like Daniel Jones will probably wear something other than 22. If you guys, that's one thing I was going to say. If you guys have recommendations of how you want gear to be set up, I think it'd be cool. Especially like, I'm going to be real, like straight up honest with you guys. Pepperjack and Loco, you guys watch every video. You're in the comments for every video. It's like, you two really do motivate me to keep going. So like, I am grateful for you guys. And so a way I think I can give back to you guys is like, if you guys got gear requests you want certain guys to wear or number requests and stuff like that, like I'm always down to do that. So you just have to let me know if you guys want something like that. If not, if you guys don't care about gear and stuff like that, I don't blame you. But I appreciate you guys showing up and watching the videos. It definitely means a lot. I want to go look at Zach Truin as well. Probably not going to wear number 85. To me, it's like the 80s is like a classic receiver number, but people they've gone away from it. It's not something you really see too much anymore. So I'm good there. Tight ends, we'll look at Shudak and Ferkser. Everett Eagles may become more of a impact guy in the future. Oh, that's another thing we got to look at is skill caps. I forgot all about that. Just make the linemen on both sides look like beasts. All right. Let's go random play here. Here's Anthony Tobin. He's got the long tights underneath. Tobin on the run. Throws a pick. You guys got it. That's another thing, too, is like, I'm not great at this game. Like, I'm not going to pretend to be great. There's Zach Truin. Look at the route running on display by Tyquan Garrett. This guy's going to be a freaking beast. I think he starts as a true freshman. I think he starts over Zach Qualls. I think he's good enough for it. I tried to high pass it. Here's the first run for 5-star Daniel Jones. And I ran right into Culver. Then you got Eric Drake back at corner for this season. I agree. I agree 100% with you, Pepperjack. Like if we're playing good, I'm not gonna. If we're undefeated, for example, and Anthony Tobin or whoever is named the starter, if they're playing well, yeah, I'm not gonna screw around and put Jeremiah Tobias out there, and I'm not gonna be throwing passes like that when we start the season either. I'm gonna try my hardest to make this season the best season I've ever had and ever playing a video game. Passing the ball. Nah. No, I agree 100% with that. I'm not gonna. I want to see how the team performs without him. And Tyquan Garrett's gonna be an animal. Another thing with Jeremiah Tobias is his throwing motion to me is just a little weird. I think Daniel Jones is going to be a nice change of pace back. Like Anthony Tobin, the way he throws the ball, I just think his throwing motion is just a little better than Tobias. Let's see if I'm able to. Yes, that was a trash read by me. He gets the ball out quick, it seems like. Let's go. Let's look at Stephen Beebe real quick. Last play here for Tobin. That's what I mainly wanted to look at, throwing motions to see. Oh, that's a sick throw. Truin can't hang on to it, though. Here's Stephen Beebe on the quarterback keeper. I think Stephen Beebe keeps number 12. I think he looks like somebody that wear number 12. I want to see him throw again. One more throw from Beebe, and then I'll look at Tinker real quick. Because I'm going to try and wrap this stream up in a second. Yeah, quick throw. It was a quick release is what it looked like. Jeremiah Tobias, like, leans back real weird, and it is weird. It is strange. Let's look at Tinker. He's more of your prototypical pocket passer. Can we float it over there? No, we can't. That's on me. And then here's Tinker. Last guy we'll look at. He's a lefty, which could really make the offense run a little weird, but like rolling out like that, you can't do with a lefty. That was dumb. Let's see how he is in the play action. This is the type of formation we would run with Tinker. Ah. Daniel Jones might just be a beast at running back. Star development's huge for him. I don't know how elusive backs develop. We didn't really see too much development out of Thomas Yates, but Jones just feels so much better than Yates right now that I'm not really too worried with it. Look at that cut. The way he was able to stop. Tinker isn't ready. He's a little scared, huh? And one thing that kind of does suck, see if you can float that over there. Yeah, he's not ready. One thing that does suck is like the 3 quarterbacks that I brought in, they were all top 11 in the quarterbacks in high school. And I tried to look up, is there a year where a team has done that? And there's never been a year where a team has been able to do that. So, I don't want to get rid of these guys. I mean, I want them to compete. I think it's cool to have, and they screwed my schedule up. Unless I screwed up and didn't save it. We're still playing Air Force, but instead of having a bye somewhere around here, we have a bye all the way down here. We're still playing Air Force, so nothing changes there. It just changes as far as, like, now we don't have a bye after this Maryland game. Gosh, what a gauntlet that you have to go through. 4 of your first 5 games are ranked opponents. And you don't get a bye until November. Oh my gosh, a gauntlet. Yeah, and there's always a chance that one of them goes pro early. There's always a chance for that. So if we advanced a week real quick before I'm gonna look at skill caps and stuff like that. Yeah, so Tobias would be out for the first 3 games, so he'd be out for every non-conference game. I agree with the redshirt thing. So whoever starts, Tobin, Tinker, or BB, they're going to start for the Maryland, UTEP, and Air Force game. Tobias, if it's going completely wrong and Tobias comes back, he would come back for the Tulane game. But if everything's working smoothly, I'm not going to bring in Tobias to play to start. You know what I mean? And I think it would be cool to show you guys some highlights. Maybe I record, and I don't know when week 1 is going to come. It might be a week, guys. So I hope that isn't too long. It just depends. I'm kind of busy this upcoming week. But maybe I could throw together some practice clips, some highlights, and I can kind of reveal who won the starting job. We'll do something cool like that. It also depends on what their skill caps is, which is why I'm going to look at it right now. First, we'll look at Anthony Tobin and his skill caps. He's got star development. He's a 5-star. The throw power is not going to get much better, but I'm not worried about that. The elusiveness will. The accuracy will. This guy's a beast. He's a beast. The IQ is going to go up, so his awareness is going to go up. And he could get a lot quicker. He could get Magician, which would be really good. Mobile resistance, option king. The only thing is, like, the throw power one, I don't think he's ever going to get that up to 96. Yeah, Anthony Tobin's going to be somebody to watch out for. I could do a different quarterback per game. I could allow, Tinker to start versus Air Force since he's the lesser of the 3, Yeah, that's true. Stephen Beebe now. He's also star development. He's got the best throw power, too. Accuracy can get better. The IQ. Yeah, I mean, Stephen Beebe can definitely get better here. He's already got Magician. Well, he can unlock it. He's got the numbers to unlock it. Extender. His skill caps aren't as good as Tobin, but they're still not bad. Miguel Tinker, I think, is impact development. Yeah. His accuracy can go up. Even his quickness and elusiveness can, but his caps are not great. Tinker looks like he's probably a career backup guy. No disrespect to him. Daniel Jones, star development. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to be good. The elusiveness can go up, and he already looked very elusive. He's going to get better at carrying, could probably develop some catching, route running, the power. Quickness is stuck where it's at, but it's not in a bad position. Stamina 81 kind of sucks. But it's the elusiveness, the fact that can go up. Yeah, Daniel Jones could be really good. Shifty. So he'd need to get change of direction up, which he's going to. Juke move. Accelerate. He's never going to be able to get takeoff. He can get 360. Yeah. His elusiveness good. His elusiveness is good. Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to, I mean, I don't know. That would probably take longer for me to get the first game, the first episode of the season out if I did like all 3 into like a brief episode. But we'll figure something out how I can like kind of reveal it in a better way. Trayvon Watford, he's a fullback. Yeah, not really worried about the caps there. Here's the caps that I'm most excited for. I'm going to look at Truin first. He's impact development. His route running can get better. His hands can get better. He's not going to get much more elusive. Not the greatest caps, but not terrible. Taekwon Garrett. That's the one I'm most excited for. Elite development. All right. The route running can get so much better. It needs to get so much better. That's the only thing that's keeping him from starting right away. The hands can be completely maxed out. The elusiveness can be completely maxed out. And he can get faster. Yeah, Taekwon Garrett's probably starting week 1. I know Zach Qualls is definitely better because if you look at Zach Qualls, his route running is so much better. Maybe I just rotate him. Zach Qualls plays the first quarter, Taekwon Garrett the second quarter, and then you move on like that. What about Madison Penner? Not super excited about this guy. Blocking hands. Okay, the route running can go up. Quickness, he's never going to get faster, though. And that's the thing that kind of sucks when you bring in blocking tight ends. If they're not naturally somewhat faster, they're never going to get faster. Tackle, Chad Turpin, not Angel LeMay. Impact development. Okay, we know these guys progress. Offensive linemen progress. Not bad caps. Roy Rush, I'm not really too worried about looking at him. We already know he's 90 overall. Screw it. I'm not going to be lazy with it. I'll look. Star development. Only going to have one more year of development. Had he have gotten that heading into this season, he could probably be a 90-something overall. And that's it for offensive linemen that we brought in. Stacy. How about Josh Stacy? Not bad. The power moves can go up. The strength can go up. It's not honestly bad. For being a normal development 3-star, I think he could move into like a potential 80 overall type of guy. It's not terrible. Lyle Ivey. He was impact development. Okay, we got something here with Lyle Ivey. The pass coverage can get so much better. The awareness or the IQ can go up. Yeah. Pass rushing, I'm not too worried about that going up. But like the tackle and pursuit's going to have to. The quickness. Okay, Lyle Ivey, we have something here with Lyle Ivey. He looks good. Christian Stuckey. Impact development. Okay, run stopping and tackle can get better. The pursuit. And he probably starts week 1, more than likely. Play rec can go up. The coverage, okay, he's probably not starting week 1 just because the coverage is in a weak spot. The coverage has got to go up before he starts. So therefore, Alex Cheeseman probably starts week 1. And here's Eric Kane. He was a transfer guy. Okay, not really too much to see there. And then Roderick Gooch. Okay, not bad. But not great. Yeah. John Fowler is the guy that I'm most excited about. Star development. Okay. The run stopping looks good. It's not in a bad spot right now. He could knock your head off here in a couple of years. Pass rush also isn't terrible. The coverage is in a decent spot, and he's already very athletic. 5'11", 238. Yeah, John Fowler. I think he's got potential to be a really good player for us. He's going to take Braden Pope's spot more than likely. Dexter Peavy. Star development, slot archetype. He's going to wear the red shirt. And he's got a lot of improvement that he can make. And as a slot archetype, I think he's going to do it. Monty Khan, I think, also has the potential to do the same thing. Yeah, like look at this. Man cover. I mean, this is good. But he's so low, though, that it's like, will he ever reach his potential is the thing you got to worry about. Brian Horner, we moved to free safety, so I'm interested in what his caps look like now. So much better than, yeah. So much better than what it would have been had we kept him at linebacker. Dallas McCarthy, not worried about. Antoine Darby, impact development. Okay. This guy looks like he's going to be good. Don't know if he's not going to start week 1 because Sosa's going to start. How about Villalobos? Okay. And Tobias is injured to start the season. I'm going to keep it right here. Off camera, I'm going to advance through and do recruiting and everything like that, but I'm going to keep it right here. I'm going to end off this live stream. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Loco and Pepperjack mostly, but if there's anybody else that was watching this that became a fan of the channel, I appreciate it. Trying to build a little community over here, and guys like Loco and Pepperjack are definitely guys that are helping me build that community. So I appreciate you guys a lot, and I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and I hope you guys are excited for Season 6 and the entertainment that's going to come with it. New teams to the conference, a quarterback battle that's about to happen with Anthony Tobin, BB, and Tinker. Daniel Jones looks like he's a really explosive running back. And then Tyquan Garrett. And then at safety, you got Antoine Darby. I think there's a lot to look forward to in Season 6. So appreciate you guys stopping in and checking out the stream. And I will catch you guys in Season 6. Appreciate you guys.